Good morning, everyone. So, we haven't had much in the way of videos lately, combination of me being busy and not doing anything that was very interesting. But now I got a project for my own shop that we're going to work on today, and I am very excited about it. So, I have been very disappointed with what I've had for welding and fabrication tables. Usually, like the one that I was using was a 1/2-inch steel top shop-made bench. The top wasn't flat, the top wasn't square. Constantly having to shim stuff and do a million measurements anytime you wanted to fabricate something. Matter of fact, I can show you the job that I was doing that finally got me thoroughly disgusted with it. So I'm still working on it. This is the gate that's supposed to go on my back porch. And trying to get this, the edges true 90s at the corners and get it flat was just a nightmare. So anyways, I got a friend that is moving out of a building he's been storing stuff in, and he was scrapping a lot of stuff. And in there, he had 6 of these tables. These are Bridgeport tables off from, I believe, Moogs, Series 1 Bridgeport Moogs. So anyways, he had 6 of them, and he was going to scrap them. And I said, no, I'm going to get some of them from you. So I got 4 of them from him. And what I'm intending to do with these things is clean them up. You can see they're surface edge rusty. Like, he sprayed some rust preventive on them, but they've been in kind of a drafty building for a long time. But clean them up, and then I got myself some 4-inch by 3/4-inch hot rolled. And I'm intending to drill that hot rolled to match the pattern where the end castings bolted on these things. And I'm going to use socket-style flathead screws and bolt these things together with those plates across the end. Now, what I think my theory is I'm going to start by, so I've got it under the hoist, I'm going to pull this back, I'm going to get the first one cleaned up, stand it on edge, stand the next one on it, and actually stack them up on edge so that gravity is helping keep them all pressed together, tap them around until they're all lined up with each other nice, and then bolt those ends on. And assuming I do a good job of laying out the hole pattern, I'm planning on clamping these together. We're going to get them set up on the horizontal boring mill and use the digital readouts to get my hole locations exactly right all the way down the side of it. Thankfully, I checked this morning. This thing has basically right on the money, a little bit over, but basically 36 inches of travel on the x-axis. And these things are exactly 36 inches long, and my first holes are actually in 1.5 inches from each end. So what I'll do is I will just mark a center line on these and work each direction from the center then. So anyhow, that's the plan. I'm going to document the process, but I think this is going to make one bad to the bone fab table. Cast iron, T-slots in the whole surface, and for what I do, the fact that it's technically 4 separate pieces, I mean, if there's any inaccuracies or discrepancies caused by that, it's not going to be enough to matter for the kind of things I do. But I think that's going to be pretty doggone legit. All right, I've been sitting here by the wood stove for the last few minutes. This is, figured I'd better show you what happens behind the scenes. So this is the high-tech blueprint that I've got drawn up for my hole punching. I realize this is really crude, but all it's really for is to remind me what it is I'm doing. So I've laid this out, just crudely drawn out the basic hole pattern. It's way off center, it's not right, but scratched a center line. What I've done is created the center of the part's going to be my 0, and then I've added up the dimensions. So the first hole in the bottom row is 1.5 inches over, second one 7.5, and all this is measured in the center line, and that's the reason I've only got dimensions going one way, is it's mirror imaging that the other direction. And then the top row, you can see 3.25, 5.75, 12.25, 14.75, and then here I've laid out the distance down from the top that those 2 rows are. So the top one's 3/4 inch on center. This one, I don't know why Bridgeport did this, but these holes are some screwy, what is it? Well, as far as I can tell, their holes are laid out from the top of the table. And you can see these are the dimensions that come up. It's 2 13/16 to the center line of this bottom row of holes, 1.75 inches. Now, the 1.75 inches is nice. That's fairly round fractional number, but why they picked this 2 13/16, I'll never know. So anyways, that's the reason that I end up with, I want my top row 3/4 of an inch down from the top surface of that plate. And the reason for that is I want my plate to be well below the top edge of this thing because I want to be able to use the machined square edges on it and not have to use my chunk of hot rolled as the surface that I square parts I'm fabricating up to. And I don't want this plate to block the T-slots because I might want to be able to slide something in all the way from the end in one of them T-slots. So anyways, that means we up with 3/4 inch down for the top row, and then that means the next row down is 1 13/16 from the top. So anyway, that's what we're going to roll with. So I'm going to get this stuff set up on the boring mill. I'll probably shoot some video of setting her up over there. right, so done drilling holes. I didn't see any point in videoing 16 holes getting drilled. You all know what hole drilling looks like. So anyway, time to pull this thing off here. And then I think what I'll probably do is go clean up these plates on the edges, or these tables, and then stack them up. And I'm going to verify that the bolt holes line up. And if they do, then I'm going to go countersink them all. I'm just going to do the countersinking on the drill press, set a stop. We'll see if I video that or not. But anyways, we'll bring you back when I get these set up and ready to try fitting. All right, so my hole drilling and countersinking was perfect as far as I can tell. Everything lined up, went together really nice. But what I'm discovering is that Bridgeport tables aren't as consistent as you would hope they are. I've got a slight step there. This one's higher than that one. That's about perfect. And then a slight step back up on that one. And it mirrors on both ends, so it's not my hole patterns, I don't think. The reason I say that is because there's even bigger discrepancies in the bottom way surface. It's obvious that these tables vary in thickness by if I'd have measured them. I'm sure from what I'm seeing here, there's probably close to 50 thousandths thickness difference between the thickest and the thinnest one. So, oh well, it's not life and death. It's just a little disappointing. I was really hoping they were going to be dead flat. For what I do, I mean, I don't even know what this is. I'm probably feeling 10 thousandths or something. Honestly, it's still better than anything I've ever had for a welding table, so I'm not going to complain about it. You always shoot it. Sometimes you don't quite get there. But anyway, so we're going to go to it and see if we can get this thing setting on its base. You may notice I'm trying to stay out from under this. I'm not gonna lie, it feels awfully heavy. I just watched a video of somebody dropping a radial arm drill the other day. Put the steer back in me of this kind of stuff. It's also why I've got the skid under there, in case something blows. So. Fall enough to not destroy my floor. down a little here. Get this side. So there's a couple of nubs. This base was originally built for granite layout plate. It's got a couple of nubs that are sticking up right where I don't want them. So I think we're going to pick this back up and see if we can grind them off in there. Love the idea of leaving that thing suspended, but it's just the way it's going to have to be. Gotta make these go away. Let's see here. Figure out where to put my grinder. Well, guys, there she is. Got to do a little more polishing on the top. She's got a bit of rust on it here and there, but basic idea is looking pretty good. It's a 3/4 by 4-inch plate, and then each table has 4 3/8 flat heads in the end, each end of it. I think that's plenty strong enough for anything I'll put on there. So anyway, that's the end of her. We're going to get her rolled into place, and it's quite tall. That works for me. I'm about 6 foot tall. It's pretty convenient working height, but if somebody was shorter than I am, they'd probably want to knock 6 inches off from it. But for me, it'll be about perfect. So that's it. Catch you next time.